Hello, everyone. So the topic for today is all to do with imposter syndrome and why this is often a direct result of having been raised by a narcissistic parent uh, or both, having a narcissistic partner as well. So let's dive straight into this today. First of all, what is an imposter? And in the dictionary, it describes an imposter like this: a person who pretends to be someone else in order to deceive. Now, you know, at different times in our lives, we might feel like a bit of an imposter. And that's a bad feeling. You know, I can remember when just completed my training as a therapist, and the first few sessions with clients, I felt like an imposter. I thought, gosh, I haven't had much experience. Am I going to be of any use? Who am I to think that I'm a therapist? All of these things are feelings of imposter syndrome, and they're actually natural, and in some ways they're actually true. I didn't have the experience that I do now today. Back then I had the same qualifications, but I have I have accrued and grown in skills. Well, I like to think I have anyway. um, so to have that healthy imposter syndrome, that kind of urges us to stick with it and to grow in our skills. That's healthy imposter syndrome. But what we're going to talk about today is the imposter syndrome that is unhealthy, and that comes from a lie, basically. So, yes, Aline, many of my clients, many myself included, have felt times of being like an imposter. And if you had a narcissistic parent at all, or you've had a narcissistic partner or boss or friend, it can really trigger this. Um, why? Well, a narcissist, in essence, hides behind a false self. They hide behind an imposter. They are an imposter themselves, in other words. They pretend to be someone else in order to deceive everyone. And this is not some of the time or only in some areas of their lives. This is all pervasive, as they say. It's in every area of their lives. They are false. They are an imposter. And they have to be, to protect their authentic self. Their authentic self, which they believe is unbelievably shameful and is the enemy. So if you had a narcissistic parent, you were raised by someone who was pretending to be a parent. They were pretending to be an adult. They were pretending to have it all together. But this was a cover for the truth. That was the imposter. Underneath it all, they had never grown up. They were interiorly a child in an adult's body, pretending to be at parent age or parent level. Now, for children, this is hugely unstable. And it's unstable for the narcissist as well, because that parent had to ensure that anything that threatened their false image of themselves as a parent at parent age or level had to be stamped out, had to be controlled. They had to try to watch what other adults did or how other adults behaved to know how to behave themselves, what part to play. So it was all a role playing, an act of being a parent. And most importantly, in order to maintain their parent position over you, they had to make you feel like you were not normal, like you were the imposter instead. They may have been extremely quick to make you question your thoughts and your decisions and ideas. But crucially with this, and this is where it stems from, this imposter syndrome, particularly in narcissistic families. We know that every child in a narcissistic family is asked to take on a role. So either the golden child or the scapegoat generally. Now, the golden child is given this sort of unbelievable role to play, where they are almost worshipped. They're going to go on to be, a prodigy in the world. They're just incredible. They're above all other children, and so they're kind of told that they have amazing skills that they don't have. I mean, this child can barely tie its shoelaces together, and yet it's being told how incredibly wise it is and has knowledge beyond its years. So the child is left with this sense of, oh, that's who I'm told I'm supposed to be, but I can't even do my shoelaces. So there's this real kind of sense of being inadequate and having to live up, put on a show of being what their parents want them to be. On the other hand, the scapegoat child is constantly being criticized, being told that you're not doing it right. What's wrong with you? You're not like others. You just don't fit in. And so those messages are taken on by the child and cause imposter syndrome in adulthood. The child thinks, gosh, I've got to put on a show now, because really I'm if they see me, I'm not going to fit in. I've got to try to make myself fit in. So if you were in either of these two roles, you may have also been shamed for questioning your parents' actions or beliefs. They may have been extremely controlling over you in public. And if you misbehaved, you were really shamed, as this was a threat to their public image of being a parent, their false self. It exposed them, as it might have exposed them, as being an imposter. And so you were made to feel yourself like you were the not normal one, or you were not like other normal children. But this was actually a projection of the narcissist's view of themselves as not being like others. So today you might find yourself still feeling inadequate and like an imposter in every area of your life. And this is when we know that it's unhealthy imposter syndrome, is that it's, you're feeling it in many areas of your life. When you're with other adults or at work. The thing is, we tend to repeat the same patterns that our parents showed to us with ourselves in adulthood. We end up sort of expecting ourselves to have all the skills without any of the training, or to be, like with myself, to be like the top therapist from day one, when it's actually a process of growing and learning. And okay, yes, I may not be the expert today, but that I will be in 2 years from now. That's fine. That's part of the journey. But if you had a narcissistic parent, you will have internalized that critical voice who constantly shames you for not being there yet. Now, the thing is, in the work I do, I've got an amazing hypnotherapy method which allows you to be released from this imposter part, this part that believes that by reminding you that you are inadequate, it's actually keeping you safe somehow. So if you're to work with me, we can really target this particular part and give it a different role, because that's all we need to do really. It's trying to keep you safe, but it's in an unhelpful way. And we need to begin chipping away at this internalized narcissistic parent who is still running the show if you're still feeling ruled by imposter syndrome. I also have another colleague who is amazing. She's an expert in imposter syndrome. Her name is Ines Padar, and she's put together this fabulous course. So if you're wanting to work with someone who specializes just in this area, well, I'll leave her contact details at the bottom. But this is as a result of narcissistic parents. And if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're going to feel like you're an imposter all the time, because they need to project out what they really feel about themselves. And that is the truth. They are an imposter. You're not. Thanks, everybody. And thanks to all those who've commented. Aline, thank you. I know there's a hurricane where you are, so please be safe. I shall see you everyone tomorrow for another live. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for doing so, all those that have. Take care. Bye now.